Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining me. This is a Twin Flame Collective tarot reading. The messages are not going to be specific to everyone's situation, so please use your own intuition and discretion and sense in how you perceive and how you process and receive this information that I give you. All right. So I'm going to just get right into it because I feel like this is always the best, just get right to it. All right, I've already pre-shuffled and selected the cards and reflected on the messages, and I'm going to begin with the star. So the star is talking about Aquarius energy. This is what's happening is currently where we have entered into the age of Aquarius. And the age of Aquarius is all about freedom, revolution, social justice, individualism. Aquariuses tend to be eccentric. They like things that are different. And they're usually very all-inclusive and spiritual. They can feel things very deeply. They have a very high or very strong intuition. And so this is very much healing energy. And what's been happening is the dynamics between all of this energy. I'm not going to get into specifics because it makes no difference. This is just energy. So this is conflict. And because of the conflict, this person, the energy decided to split. And that's it. And so what's happening is there's this healing underway, and this is because there's no more conflict because the person split. And so now they're in the process of healing. And which is beautiful. So they're clearing away their negative emotions. They're moving to clear waters. And for me, whenever I see this card, I think of the mists of Avalon. So it's like entering into a new dimension, entering into beyond the veil to the other side. And the other side is where we have a combination of this energy, this celestial source energy. And that's what's beyond the veil. And so we're moving towards our enlightenment. And, this is all about happiness, joy, friendship. And so then if we were going to go here, this is what's the process of union. So the masculine is wanting to make contact with the feminine. And this is the feminine presented themselves. And so this is them communicating. This is making a decision to move forward. But part of the process is them clearing away the emotions. And they're feeling, uncertain, erratic, kind of not sure the best way to go about this. And it's because they're very much stuck in their head, and they're looking at it from more of a practical perspective, right? They want to make sure that everything is like properly organized, in all aspects of their lives. And that they have the time and energy to commit to the feminine. They want to make sure that they're cleared of these emotions and that they've, made the decision. That they've chosen the feminine and that they're ready to commit. But before they can do this, they need to get balanced. And so this is what the masculine's doing. And the masculine's also creating their own formula. And this word has been coming to my thoughts is we're creating our own formula. And so this angel is utilizing the earth energy and the water energy and her intuition, and just through practice, she's creating magic, alchemy, formula, recipe, and so part of this is like you have to make sure that you're doing your tests, right? So you don't just like grab all these liquids and, you're doing all this science without properly preparing, because it's gonna be a waste of time. So if you take the time in the beginning to make sure that you're properly prepared, then it's a lot more, everything happens with, there's more success in the outcome. And that's what this card represents, is the success. So you can see that this knight is very much like strong. You can see like the gold and the red, and it's grounded. And then the wreath represents life, never ending circle of life. And then the flowers on the wands and the clouds in the background. So the flowers is like the flower, the smell, the beauty. And then the wreath, which is the never-ending story. And then the clouds in the background, which is the imagination. And here he is sitting here on this black horse, and they've had victory, right? But before they can get to this, they had to go through this. And you can see the difference in the energy. So this is the warrior at battle. And this is the warrior after they've won. So it's like they had to charge ahead, and then this is the higher ranking. Or just envisioning like entering into the village, like after you've been through this battle. So here we go, like all of this. So it's because the masculine they faced the darkness. They kept going back and forth. They weren't, they kept going back and forth. But here we go. We have in the center, this is the ending. This is victory. And everything that's happening from here on out is completely blessed. It's like you have healed all of the inner child woundings. That's what you've done this, right? And then because you have done that, right? It's not being that wounded child anymore. Because look at the mother and the son. This is beautiful energy when you understand the process of the Empress being pregnant, growing this life, the duration, the process, and so basically this is the way I'm seeing it is, I'm going back to these nights, it's like still haven't mastered. So it's what's happens and makes me so sad is like you have this beautiful child and you have this beautiful mother who just loves their child so much. And she raises them, and then you have like the system comes in and is like, no, you have to do as I say. And that's the darkness right here. So it's like the life and death, the sun and death, source energy and death. Like I'm like really, this is amazing how this is all happening. Honestly, it's absolutely amazing. Okay, so we've both the masculine and the feminine have been healing their childhood woundings. Like I'm getting overwhelmed by this reading. And so I'm going to relate this specifically to the mother, right? So the mother, we're all operating on the same program, and it's codependency. And so the mother's, the true nature of the divine feminine has been well, this is it's been stomped on. That's the word. I didn't want to use that wording, but it's been stomped on. The divine feminine's energy has been stomped on. And I'm just thinking of like someone who just like goes along and like, steps on a flower for no reason, And so basically it's like this beautiful child and this mothering and this nurturing the divine feminine and taking care of their children, and this little boy, riding this white horse and completely connected with the higher power and their imagination and all the happiness that they're experiencing, all this freedom, and all that they can imagine, and knowing that they're blessed and that it already is, because the mother's giving it to them. The mother and the father. The son is the father, and then the empress is the mother. Like, I'm even getting Jesus energy here. So this is, Jesus, and then the Immaculate Conception. And so then basically it's like this is the devil energy, but this is the death, but I'm envisioning it also as the devil. So then basically this is the patriarchy coming in and trying to destroy everything, right? And that's what these lessons were about for both the masculine and feminine, was overcoming this conflict. Learning that it's okay to be turned away. Rejection is protection. And that it's just the matter of making a decision, moving towards clear waters, to the Avalon. Because the battle has already been won. Like, this is the battle. The battle's been won. And a victory has been had. And so now, because of this, we have justice. So the scales have been balanced. And so right now, the masculine is still, both the masculine and the feminine are still healing, because you're one. So what they're feeling, you're feeling. But the whole point is that you learn to strengthen your energy. You keep your energy high vibrational. And you remember that, this strength that you have within is enough, right? It's enough. You and your twin, there's no such thing as separation. You're connected between, in infinity. As above, so below. And the trust of this lion, because the feminine has entered into their true nature, and now the masculine, this lion, or this masculine lion, or male lion, I should say, is feeling comfortable trusting their feminine, because the feminine understands the true meaning of self-love. And so now there's not so much, whereas in the past, it wasn't like that, right? It was like this was the divine feminine. And I'm relating it specifically to women in this card. Masculine and feminine reside in everyone. You don't have to be a male to, it's not just you're a male, you have masculine energy. Males have feminine energy too, both. Okay, so you can see here, so this is, I'm envisioning the divine feminine. I'm envisioning this, the masculine. The divine feminine has gone through all of the spiritual lessons and tests, and it's like the finish of the play, the finishing of the play, and now they're just resting after all the hard work that they've put in. And she's had to tame her energy and understand, you know, the power of self-mastery. And because of this, the lion is trusting, and they're able to be intimate with one another. And then we have the Three of Cups. So this was the energy that they had to experience. And Three of Cups represents the third-party relationship. But I'm not going to limit it to just the third party. I'm going to say that all these aspects of these women are all the aspects within. So it's like the many Melissas. That's what I call for me. I call it many Melissas, because there are many different ways that I express myself. And so this was me expressing myself in each way. And for me, like, this was the way I learned how to, tame I learned how to tame myself. Tame the emotions. And it's also, I'm hearing the word ego, right? So it's like, if she was trying to assert her power onto this lion, that would be her ego. And there's many humans out there that will assert themselves and abuse animals because they're trying to assert their dominance on them. But in this energy, they're not doing that. And for the feminine energy, one of their lessons is learning about not having competition, not seeing their other person as competition. This is one of the divine feminine's lessons. And so that the feminine has to tame all of that darkness that's they have to clear it out. They have to integrate it as part of one of the lessons, and the lesson being trust, connection. Okay, so and back once again, this is the connection. All of these energies are different aspects of herself, right? And so, like, yeah, there was a third party situation, but you can see that these energies have all been so this reminds me of the justice. So what's happened is this lesson has been learned. So there's no longer this third party dynamic. There's no longer karma based on past life experiences in regards to your twin and them being in a relationship with another person, and the potential unfoldings in past lives that could have happened between these three individuals. So karma wasn't just for the masculine, it was for the feminine, because once again, there is no separation, they are one. But individually, as the human process, individually, each human would have still had to process that with their own mind, and also at the same time from the spiritual connection that they have with their twin. So it was double lesson. It was a double way of processing the lesson, so that there could be justice, right? There's justice. I'm like, oh, there's justice, right? Success, victory, strength. And this ultimately means celebration. So these feminines are celebrating. All of these energies are celebrating because you understand what it means to love yourself first. This is the main lesson. Love yourself first. All right. This is I didn't realize it was going to go this long. That's okay. Okay, so here we go. This is loving yourself first. And so this is what's happening, right? And the masculine is now single. The masculine is now single. It is official. It's hard to believe. Holy shit, man. That was, whew. But at any given moment in time, Feminine, I know you're watching this. At any given moment in time, the energy can shift. So you better hold your vibration, because you got to understand that this is the main purpose of the lesson, is surrender, is letting go and trusting and allowing and just, moving with the energy, just letting it flow. And so this is being independent. This is being confident, sexy, and like completely wealthy. It's like you want it, you got it. You got everything you want. That's what this card speaks of. The single individual, self-made. So what we're doing, I'll recap. Balance, recipe, being very, see, you got to take your time. You don't want to freaking start getting a little bit, if I would have been calm about it, I would have picked it up and it would have been like this. It would have just been forward facing. But because I got excited, I picked it up like this, and then it was the block. So this is exactly what I'm saying. That's why I'm suggesting that it's so important to get grounded, to get balanced, to be very clear and direct with what it is that you're in the process of manifesting, because this is about manifestation. Okay, so once the masculine is ready to offer, they're going to have more to give you, then they're going to come through. They're going to communicate. And I'm getting an itchy nose. Yay, I'm so excited. But once again, this is where they're at. They're right here, so they're healing. And they're processing everything through their brain. Like, it was a lot. Understandable. Okay. And they're still, this is also still about their ego. Right? This is still about the ego. And so they're just being very mindful, and they're tending to their garden. And they're in the process of healing. They're doing a lot of spiritual work right now. Once again, with the star, this is spiritual. These two cards, spiritual healing. Healing takes time. Okay. And they have this vision, and they want to make a love offering. And they're just like, they don't have the energy to give right now. They're not getting very good sleeps. It's a lot for them to go through this process in their head right now. It's a lot. Okay? But then at the same time, like, they know that they're not ready, but then at the same time, they're like, okay, like, how can I get just like a little bit? How can I get a little fix? I need a fix. Because they have all this passion for their feminine. And they're like, it's a way of them it's a soothing. But then that's also part of the addiction. Right? It's like in the past, they never fully went through that full clearing, because they ended up just getting in another relationship and another relationship and another relationship. So they haven't had that time to fully clear their energy. But because they're very sexually driven and they have a very high sex drive, they're wanting to still communicate with the feminine, even though they know that they're not fully, they're still carrying all this heaviness, and they're still working through the emotions, right? So they're not emotionally, they're not emotionally balanced right now. And so, like, the energy between you and them is blocked. Like, don't get all like up, freaked out when you hear the word blocked. It doesn't matter if they block you, because there's no such thing as separation. You and them are always one. You're always connected, right? And I'm very much drawn to this the sun beyond these wands, right? So it's just a matter of time right now, right? So, but don't make it worse, feminine. Like, you need to stay grounded too. And you gotta make sure that you're getting grounded. That's what I was saying. You have a lot of passion on you want to just, but you got to stay like centered, okay? Like, you just got to stay centered. That's all there is to it. Because if you add these two components together for a masculine energy, this is not healthy. Right? Here we go. This is what they were doing in the past. They have to fully stop behaving this way. Okay, so like they have to stop behaving this way. And if they have too much on their back, they need to make the decision to drop it. Like, I get like the Capricorn in me, you make a good fucking decision. Well, I'm also very, like, I have literally right here, this is Melissa's energy, no word of a lie. I'm a Capricorn, which is earth energy, the Queen of Pentacles. And then I have an Aries rising, plus like 5 other, I have 5 Sagittarius placements, okay? Plus Aries rising. And then Capricorn, I'm just saying. There's a reason. There's a reason why. But this is ideal too. This is the energy that the feminine masculine need to be moving towards. This is water and earth, right? So they're nourishing each other. And they're able to grow a garden because the masculine is watering their feminine, and the feminine is giving them a space to clear the emotions, a safe space. Whereas like when you're a little child, like it's like back to the mothering energy, the Empress and the Sun energy. So it's let the masculine feeling safe with the feminine, and she's very loyal to to her masculine. She's very, very loyal, and he's very strong too. Like to have a lot of emotions for a man, like this is like, I feel like with this person, this masculine energy in particular, they are very much like they have many layers. They have many layers. Just like I was saying, there's many Melissas. And there are many. Okay. So I'm going to leave it at that. That was wonderful. And I'm so happy that you could be here and watch this reading. And thank you so much. I hope you found it helpful. If so, leave me a like or comment below. And if you're interested in booking a personal reading, you can find my information in the description. Much love.